of consistent throughout the video, and I'm hoping that the microphone is positioned correctly. So if you do come around, let me know. Like I said, it won't be long, and I think it's just time that we start preparing for the Christian Chivu era and for what basically comes on the pitch, off the pitch. It's hard to plan for the sort of things while you're at a Club World Cup. But now we've got an opportunity to plan outside of that Club World Cup. So let me know if you do come along today, and let's just get a lineup up on the screen and let's see how it goes. I'm not going to stay here for long. As I said, internet connection is not 100% great, but I wanted to get this one out of the way. I really wanted to get this one out of the way. So at least I've got something to work with. So we'll start by building a starting 11. And then even if you're watching this back later on, let me know who you would include and who also you'd leave out. Now, the reason that I used the image on the thumbnail that I did, I know people might see that and go, gee, wishful thinking. Nico Paz isn't rocking up to the team. Rasmus Højlund isn't rocking up to the team. But if we can't at least put a couple of names in there, we're going to start off the season by saying, all right, the existing lineup we have now, or the existing squad that we have now, is the squad that we're going to go in with. And to be honest, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. We need to be planning at least for a little bit more. Just a little bit more. So let's see if we can get to the bottom of what that little bit more just might be today. Once again, it's very early. It's wishful thinking at this point. But we need to start thinking about it, because I really don't want to go into next season with Acerbi and De Vrij as the first choices at centre-back. Do you guys? I like the rumors of Leone. I like the rumors of De Winter because I like both of them. I think they're both very good. But at the same time, we've been teased before. We've been tempted before. And I don't want to make that same mistake again of believing in something that is not to be at all. So let's get it started. We'll use the lineup builder. But I don't think they do substitutes on this site. So if they don't do substitutes, then what we will do is that we will need to... Ooh, that magnified a little bit too heavy for my liking. There we go. That's a bit better. So I reckon that Martinez is going to start at keeper. I think the rumors of Jan Sommer to Galatasaray, I actually do think there's a very, very little bit to it. And because of that, I genuinely do think that I'm going to start with Martinez at goal next season. I think that this is the season that he gets his run out. I think he actually is going to get his run out. And if that does happen, guys, I'm just very conscious of battery as well for some reason. My laptop is not charging the way I thought. Hopefully we've got enough to get through this video, but if not, you'll know why. So we start with Martinez at the back. And let's go straight into the 3-5-2. I guess it's a safe bet to say that Benji Pavard is still the front runner to be in that position, although I dare say it won't be all season, just based on his just based on his injury records. It's absolutely awful, isn't it? Absolutely awful. Bastoni definitely lining up there. And for argument's sake, and just for the fact that we made this video, I'm going to put Leone at centre back here. It's an optimistic video, guys. It's an optimistic video, and you'll know that. You'll know that as you're watching it, to be honest. Denzel Dumfries, we'll start him here. And we'll start Federico Di Marco at left wing back. And this is where we can start to hybrid again. I guess Hakan is going to be there. Hakan's definitely going to be there, isn't he? He might as well be. He might as well be. Hakan coming in, but he's probably going to be the one that plays deeper. So we'll put that there. And we'll chop Barella in there nice and quickly so that we've got the sure thingers in there. I probably could have done that the other way around. And then the last position, which is pretty much all up for grabs, I put Nico Paz in on the thumbnail. So I'm going to put him in here, even though I think that there's a very small chance of putting him in. But ideally, this is how we would line up next season. And then also you've got Lautaro and Thuram. You can put them on either side that you want. I'm going to put Lautaro on this side. And I'm going to put Thuram on this side. Ha! Lilian Thuram. No. No, 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 no. That is not happening. That's funny. Funny how he was the default Thuram, even though he is retired. Marcus Thuram at number 9. So ideally, what you're looking at the screen right now. Oh, you don't have sound or all in general? I hope that's not all in general, because otherwise that would be very bad. And now I need to check it. Give me a sec. Just testing out the microphone again. Because if you tell me, don't tell me that this hasn't been don't tell me that this hasn't been working the whole time. That would be absolutely awful. Can you hear me, Gabe? And could you not hear me before? Okay, cool. The sound is fine. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whew, man, I thought I wasted 10 minutes then. How do we like this chat feature as well? Coming up on the side of the screen. Not bad. Not bad. Saves me another thing. We've got 8 people with us, 9 right now. Thank you. Thank you. It was a little bit sporadic to do this today, but I'm glad that I'm finally getting a chance to do it. So what you've got on the screen right now is pretty much what is. Pretty much what is. But I don't mind. No, I don't actually think that we're going to get him, to be honest. That's the thing. I don't actually think we're going to get him. But I think that for today's dream start, we're going to go with that. But we're going to go through the defense. We're going to go through the substitutes now as well, which is why I opened up a different tab here so that we can also go through the that one as well. But for right now, let's keep it up for here. This is the dream lineup. This is the lineup that if we saw it, we'd see it going into next season and we'd be like, you know what? This is pretty damn good. It's very young. It's got a lot of potential, especially in Italy, and it's got the right players to suit the right positions. Josep Martinez, Benji Pavard, Leone, Bastoni, Dumfries, Barella, Hakan, Nico Paz, Federico Di Marco, Marcus Thuram, and Lautaro. The question remains, though, do I think we'll get Nico Paz? The answer is no. So let's now rejig this a little bit more realistically to what we think is going to happen this season. And to be honest, what we think is going to happen this season is probably going to be Davide Fratesi. Now, I don't mind this. It's a brutal midfield, but it lacks a lot of creativity. Creativity that can't be replaced with Lautaro Martinez, Federico Di Marco, Denzel Dumfries, or Marcus Thuram. If your midfield core 3 is going to consist of that much physicality, that much grit, that much box-to-box like then in bomb forward mentality, there's no real technical ability outside of Hakan, and Hakan cannot do what we need a ball playmaking number 10 to do. Henrik Mkhitaryan can't do that either. The best like-for-like option that we have right now is Zielinski. So right now, this is what we'd be realistically looking at next season. And to be honest, that's not good enough. That one sub out of Paz for Zielinski is not good enough. It's critical. It's hypercritical. We don't have too many other options. We've flirted with the idea of Hakan leaving the club. But we're going to have to choose today to go with a healthy Zielinski and to go with I don't have to put these comments up anymore. This is fantastic. To go with a healthier Zielinski or to go with someone other than Zielinski. Charles Lucas, thanks to the people coming through. We've got 12 people here now. So it's up to you lot. It's a pick your poison sort of thing, because there is one other option, and it's the option that, you know, a lot of managers still jump over bridges for, but not many of you lot are going to be thrilled with the idea of Henrik Mkhitaryan playing again. So, no, we can't go into it like this. What we are going to do, though, is we're going to put this up with a bench lineup as well in a different app. So discuss a little bit in the comments while I start putting these names into here, because this is like a crappier app, to be honest, but can still get it done. Bastoni. The Leone rumors at the moment, I knew something like this would happen. We always reach this point when we get to like that 35 million mark. It's like out of our price range now, yeah? So we don't even want to entertain the idea of it happening. Very good. Zalewski is who's going to be playing on the left and the wing. The left wing back and the right wing back spot is going to be occupied by him. So Zielinski is the player that we got from Napoli at the start of last season, who has played all over the midfield in his career, but mostly in between holes. Carboni has been loaned to Genoa. That's official. He won't no longer be, you know, an in and out option off the bench. How you doing, Forza Inter? Good to see you. Good to see you, Giro, as well. If we continue with the same losers we had the past 5 years, it's the same shit, different season. And he makes a good point, because at the end of the day, this team is not going to be okay until it tries to recover properly from that 5-0 massacre. And we're no closer to recovering from that. You're going to see the real suffering from that this season. Just the real pain this season, because there are going to be so many games that we won't be able to see out. I thought I read a comment in Sempre Inter that Zelensky, bro, I think you're mixing the two names together, would be a Swiss Army knife for Chivu. I think you're right. Do you think that Marotta will go into the market for a creative piece in your midfield that can distribute the likes of? That's what we're looking at. And that's what we're hoping would be Nico Paz, which is what we pretty much started in here. So I'm going to chuck it back in here for now. But, you know, guys, as I'm saying, this is the ideal lineup that we're looking at today. We're not saying that it's realistic. We're not saying that it's going to happen. But if we were to go in with this lineup next season, with Martinez, Leone, and Nico Paz as youngsters, and we'll get to a bench soon. I'll be pretty impressed. Sucic impressed me during the Club World Cup. He might add something new. I hope he gets some good game time. I think so as well. Let's move over to this screen here. And I know that you guys can still see it. I can't really zoom in well here, though, without ruining. No, I can't really zoom in without ruining the entire thing. I'm not too sure how. Bring this back here. Thanks for being patient with me. That'll have to do. That's big enough. All right. All reports seem to be saying 3-4-2-1, but 3-4-1-2 makes more sense with the amount of strikers we do. We do, but at the same time, like, it's a bit of a hybrid. So I made this before. So if we go... Bro, there's no way he'll go 3-4-2-1. No way he goes 3-4-2-1. 3-4-1-2 is a little bit more realistic, but at the same time, it's pretty much the exact same as we had before. So we'll stick with the 3-5-2 hybrid pretty much as of now. I don't mind it either. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm all for any changes next season. And that's what I'm happy to have a little bit of a discussion about now, because I think every single one of us is just crying out for refreshing change. You know, next season, I'm happy to look at this team make plenty of mistakes. But if the team's going to make the same mistakes it made last season with the same personnel that I had last season, a lot of us are going to be upset, aren't we? A lot of us are going to be upset. So I think that it's very, very important that we do stick to our guns with the targets that we've got. You know, I like De Winter, however you want to say his name. They're young profiles in Serie A that have proven that they're ready to take the next step. And I think that we should be prioritizing these players. I'd love to get both Leone and De Winter. I think that it would be fantastic. Wouldn't it be really behaving like a bunch of bosses if we did that thing? But that's a lot easier said than done. Next season is going to be so important for Bastoni and Pavard, who are going to need to anchor whoever comes into that position, because we're clearly going to be going for a new centre back. And I like the idea of us, because Chivu's coached him before as well. I like the idea of us putting our eggs in this guy's basket. I really do. He's exactly the sort of player that I want. Giovanni Leone, that is. But we've just been burned so many times before. Like, it's just natural for us to be cautious. When I keep reading his price tag go up and up and up, I just think to myself, fuck, here we go again. We're going to get priced out of it. We're going to get priced out. Oh, give me 1 sec. We're going to get priced out. Yeah, it would be a dream, Javier, but we're going to get priced out. By the way, this trim looks a lot better. Looks a lot more interactive. The background's nice. The quality of the camera's not too bad. It's all good. Battery looks like it'll hold out as well. All right, well, we might as well switch it up. Let's switch it up now to... All right, cool. I don't think I can get it much closer in than that. Yeah, that'll do. I know we can see it. All right, so we've got Martinez, Bastoni, Leone, Pavard, Di Marco, Nico Paz, Hakan, Barella, and we'll take Nico Paz out for a second again once we get it realistic. But what I really wanted to do was get involved with the substitutions, because I think depth this season is going to be so important. You know, whatever goal we end up achieving, you know, if we can get to match day 30 and we're still in the title race, fantastic. If we're still fighting for top 4, the depth is going to be just as important to reaching those objectives as it's not. So let's go into these before we go into the comments. We don't really have a sub for Martinez, but I'm just going to go with Zoma for lack of anyone else. But he will be sold, because if he is still in the team when the season starts, he'll probably be first choice. But we're going to go with the thought that he won't be. The substitute for Bastoni this season. Well, before we do that, we'll go the substitute for Leone, which is probably going to be Stefan de Vrij. The substitute for Pavard, I'm hoping, is Jan Bisek. I hope he stays in the club. The substitute for Bastoni, not too sure just yet. I'm actually going to go ahead and do the smart thing and put Carlos Augusto or Di Marco as well. We can move these players around a little bit as well. The substitute for Hakan until we see evidence that he's going somewhere. I don't think it's fair to say that Christian Aslani is going anywhere. There's no evidence. Where's he going to go? There's no suggestion that he's going anywhere. Oh, crap. Wrong one. Yeah, it is a good lineup still. It is a half-decent lineup. 15 people here right now. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're new. I know it's an impromptu live, but it's been a while since I did a live, and I'm going to bring them back a lot more as the season starts to approach. We need to get the fuck over Paris. Yeah, I screamed it. Let's just get over it. We need to just get over it and move forward. And you know what? If it means a top 4 battle, I'm all here for it, bro. I am a misery merchant. The real Anthony is coming back this season, man. I cannot wait. I cannot wait, bro. I'm here for it. I'm here for the pain. I'm here for the shit. I am here to deal with it. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, Jono, you're here. How you doing, man? Good to see you as well. Let's continue to work with what we've got to work with depth-wise. Actually, you know what? Instead of putting Carlos Augusto here for DiMarco, maybe we should put Zalewski, just so it shows that we've got the depth when everybody's name is on the sheet. Player 6. Which is for Nico Paz. I guess we'd go with... There's absolutely no rumors coming out about either Mkhitaryan or... what's it called? Fratesi leaving the club. So we can definitely slot them both into this here. For Nico Paz's sake, we'll go with Mkhitaryan, which I'm going to have to fluke spell here. No, that's not how. There's a Y in there somewhere. Let's go with Ryan. Mkhitaryan. I've probably got that wrong by one letter, but if I have, I'm sorry. Mkhitaryan. And then with Barella, you'd simply go with Fratesi. All right. We're looking there. Jonathan says, Leone not happening. Look, I'm going to keep saying I'm going to stay on top of it until the deal's over. I know you're saying it because of why I'm thinking it. The fact that, you know, it's hit that golden number, that 35 million, which basically always prices Inter out of every single deal on the market. But I'm going to run with it for now. De Vinter would still be a good option. But at the same time, De Vrij would be just as good. The thing is that De Vinter would be a great option to learn from the Dutchman. We've got a great opportunity here. See, if they thought like us, Jono, they'd sit there and go, Leone isn't just a signing for right now. You sign him and De Vinter for about 50, 60 combined. It sorts out your defensive situation for the next 10 years. And they can learn off very expensive centre-backs. Very expensive. Sorry, not expensive. Very experienced centre-backs as well. But it's not our decision at the end of the day, is it? Anyway, we've got DiMarco down. We've got for Zalewski. We've got Hakan for Aslani. Paz for Mkhitaryan. Remember, guys, as I said, this is the dream lineup. We are going to alter it more realistically. And a sub for Denzel Dumfries now as well, which for the first time in a while is actually not going to be, what's his face? Matteo Darmian. It'll be Luis Enrique. So the substitute for Dumfries will be Luis Enrique. And then we have 2 forward substitutes that we're allowed to make here. For Lautaro, we're going to go with Pio Espo. And the other one is Boni. And there you have it, guys. On paper, this is basically the best of the better situations we could hope for next season. The best of the better situations, Chaurino. The best of the better situations we could hope for next season. Martinez for Zoma, although Zoma will be coming out. Pavard with Bisek, Leone, De Vrij, Bastoni, and Carlos Augusto. I didn't put Sucic in. That's right. We've got a few other players that we get to put in, but I don't get to name any other subs. So it'd be nice if I could make some even better predictions here. You know what? Fuck it. If it was an ideal world, I know it's not a like for like, but Sucic in there as well. Is Fratesi staying? I don't know. Moss, I don't know. I really don't. I hope so, because we still need to see more. But Aslani has got to go, like the people are saying. Aslani has got to go. I'm over this shit. Fratesi looking to extend would be fantastic news. We need athletic players that have got the balls to partake. Here's another lineup, the main starters. Here. Can we take out Nico Paz? Sucic isn't that attacking minded though. So I'd love to be able to say, now we've got a player. It's that one. They need to update that in the background. You know, but he's not that player just yet. And he's not going to be carried by a midfield that can help him like a player just yet. So, yeah, I can see what Jono's saying as well, which is why I was more inclined to put this in at the start, because it's a very realistic option. And I could see why it would work. But we need more. We need more in midfield there. Nico can't be that guy. You think he's the Barella replacement? You obviously do think Barella is... I don't know if you think Barella is being sold, because he's not, ever. But I think I might know where you're going with. Are you thinking that we're looking at yet another classic conversion mechanism? Because I've started to hear whispers of it. And just keep in mind, before people say that we're crazy, they said it was crazy from Brozovic to... Yeah, I know what you mean. Replace our sub as well. People said it was crazy from Brozovic to Eriksen. Then from Eriksen to Hakan. It could happen again. And I could see it as he gets older. He can be taught to be patient. He can be taught to have the vision. He's got a very high footballing IQ. You teach Nico Barella to command his line properly. My biggest concern with him would be, as soon as he's got his eyes facing the front, he would have very, very little collection of what's going on behind him, which is still paramount in that position, as opposed to the calmness, collectiveness of Marcelo Brozovic, Hakan, and Christian Eriksen, who honestly shapeshifted as ball-carrying centre-backs at points in their career with us. How deep have they dropped to collect? Can you honestly see Nico Barella dropping as deep as Hakan and Christian Eriksen and Marcelo Brozovic did to play that position? Possibly not, but I'm not the only fan saying this. I'm not the only fan that can see this coming from a country mile. Because if I had Nico as a player in my team, I'd be starting to think about this. I'd be telling him, I'm like, man, you have got all the characteristics to absolutely brute the living shit out of the back end of my midfield. I swear to God, you give me 3 world-class centre backs behind you, Marquette cuts, or it's done. It's over. Does Nico have that patience in him? Does he have that responsibility in him? We don't know. Are we in a time where we're going to get to find out? Who knows? What you're looking at on the screen right now is definitely not realistic of what you'll see at the start of the season. But it's also good to know that I'm definitely not the only fan sitting here going, no, this is possible. I think it's probable at some point, but not now and not yet. And until we can see more evidence in the media, this is what it's going to have to be going forward. There is not enough creativity. There is not enough technicality in that midfield to make it work next season. There really isn't. I wish there was. And to be honest, I could go into next season with this a little bit more. But, we're getting picky here. This isn't FIFA. You can't just hybrid positions like this and expect things to change because there's still nowhere near enough. There's still nowhere near enough technicality. I mean, it's just absolutely crying out. Let's have a little bit of fun here. Let's just make this team perfect. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if it'll pick up his name. And there you have it. Now the team's perfect. Now the team's actually perfect. Now the team's flawless. Now the team goes from being a potential 7.5 out of 10 to being a 9 out of 10. Now it's flawless. Flawless. But it takes a sort of player in a dying breed to reconnect the Hakan Barella situation. Because the Hakan Barella situation works in many aspects, but at the same time, it doesn't present the freedom to the third part of the midfield for someone like a Henrik Mkhitaryan or a Davide Fratesi. Unless you're going to be Rui Costa. That's all it's going to be. He's not the only one, obviously. But unfortunately, we don't have these sort of players anymore. We don't have those sort of players anymore. We don't have those sort of players anymore. I wish that we did, but we simply don't. And unfortunately for us, the closest that we can get relative to the Italian market at the moment is someone like Nico Paz. But there is absolutely no way Como is going to let him go. They're not going to let him go. Because if Cesc Fabregas is going to reject us, or at least semi-reject us, and politely say, look, I would coach Inter at some point, but at the moment, the Como project is bulletproof. I will always save face. I will never be public enemy. Never in my life will I be a public enemy at Como. But why would he fuck off? Why would he come to Inter? Nico Paz isn't coming either. There would have been an agreement with Fabregas and co that would have said, look, now that Cesc is staying, you're going nowhere, Nico. You are going nowhere whatsoever. Now, can anybody link me any other names that we've been rumored with in the market? I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll literally be back in 60 to 70 seconds because we've got 17 people here now. The trim's looking good and the channel's looking good and there's people commenting. So give me 60 seconds. What are some names that I've missed that we could plug into this lineup? Maybe Rovella, Edison. It's still not going to happen. Let's have a little bit of fun while we're here. But we've maintained the realism. The realism is that Davide Fratesi or Henrik Mkhitaryan or Zielinski is starting in this position. Anyway, we'll be right back. All right, let's come back to it now. Thanks for sticking through. Yeah, so we were crying out for someone in that position. What's going on, Rajat? Good to see you, my bro. Lovely display picture as well. It's not a bad lineup. It's a pretty good lineup. But put it this way, it's a lineup that could still win Serie A. It's a lineup that could win Serie A. Not a problem with that. But we're not going to get those main targets as well. We're not going to get those main targets. But, oh well. It is what it is. Thank you very much to Jono for gifting the memberships. Really appreciate it. Very, very nice of you, man. Appreciate that. If you are someone that's lucky enough to receive it, give out your thanks to Jono. But why do we need Como's agreement? Can't we convince Madrid to activate the buyback clause and pay them big money for Paz? We don't have that sort of money. We definitely don't have that sort of money to go to Madrid and actually activate any sort of buyback clauses or put any money down up front. The deal cannot be done on our terms. It never could be done on our terms, unfortunately. Tejan, awesome, and an athlete Mexico and USA can never handle, but sounds like he's going to Sassuolo and Brentford. Tejan Buchanan's time at Inter really was messed up by that injury. He did come in a season where playing time was going to be slim, very slim, considering we were going for a Scudetto. But I'm a little bit disappointed with how it ended up as well, man. I can't lie. I am pretty disappointed. Parma FC, Rajat says, yeah, it's starting to look a little bit like that, especially when you take into account Boni as a substitute. Retegi to Saudi, a waste, more so a really bad situation for Italian football at the moment. Really bad situation for Italian football. I don't know how it's going to improve. It's not going to improve. It's not going to improve. I know Paz is on loan at Como, but at the end of the day, how are we going to go to Real Madrid and negotiate him out of that? How are we going to go and negotiate out of that? The point is that the project at Como and like the will of the player as well, it all ties in. Whether or not Como have the final say, Como have the manager, Como have the player. There is a bridging gap that comes to signing with Inter, and Como is on that bridging gap. We won't get past Como on the bridging gap. I didn't say that they've got the final decision, but they've got this weird stance at the moment where they can step in front of us and go, hold on, we are Como, and we are going to stand in your way. And 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, you look at them and go, we are Inter. We are going to sneeze and you will blow out of our way. We are going to breathe and you will blow in a trajectory so far away from us, we won't know you exist. Look at Inter's situation financially. Look at Coleman's situation financially. Look at the pressure that is on Inter. Look at what we've just copped in the world. We're not an attractive destination to someone like Fabregas or Nico Paz. Como is an attractive destination. They've got shareholders up the arse. They've got money coming through up the culo as well. They've got no pressure. They could finish 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th in Serie A this season, and no one will blink an eyelid. They come to Inter and even remotely start to perform poorly. Their mental health suffers. They become public enemy number one. Their emotional health dies straight away. It's not going to happen. And we are living in a day and age where clubs like Como can be more attractive than Inter, than a standpoint. It's not just Inter. Como would be more attractive than Juventus at the moment, than Milan at the moment. The only place that's not more attractive than is probably Napoli in the country. Carboni's minutes were going to be slim. That's why he went out, unfortunately. Thanks for the memberships. Absolutely. Ricardo Rios would be nice, but unless Hakan is leaving, there's no point. We can't fit more players into the midfield. He's also not a like-for-like technical replacement. Sebastian Esposito deserves a shot. He's been on loan for a while, but he just hasn't impressed. You know what? Just quietly, Granit Xhaka is a fantastic player, a very, very sound midfielder, can play across a midfield three. Granit Xhaka would be a fantastic signing for this club. Tactically, Granit Xhaka would plug 2.5 holes in that midfield, but that's not going to happen. We don't really do the smart signings here, do we? Let's go back from a realistic standpoint right now. So let's get Nico Paz out of this starting lineup. And let's put this the other way around, just stylistic play. Nico Paz. Unfortunately, we've got to get him out of the starting lineup. So a healthier Zielinski probably gets the nod, but a healthier Zielinski is a big, big worry. A big, big worry. He sucked last season, and he does strike me as the player who can get overweight very, very quickly. He does strike me as the player who, once he's a little bit lazy, will remain lazy. I don't have a lot of faith in him, man, and he's a player I liked a lot. Xhaka is re-signing to Leverkusen. That's good. That's good. Oh, he's offered 10 mil from Saudi. Far out. He's not gonna knock us. He's not gonna knock that back. No way. But realistically, this is looking like what it could be next season. Martinez with a different goalkeeper than Sommer. We've just put it there for argument's sake. Bastoni, Augusto, Di Marco, Darmian, Leone, De Vrij, Acerbi, Darmian, although I think Acerbi's leaving. Pavard, Bisek, Darmian. Hakan, Aslani, Sucic, or Hakan, Sucic, Aslani, for argument's sake here. Barella, Fratesi, Di Marco, Zalewski, Carlos Augusto, Dumfries, Luis Enrique, Matteo Darmian, Zielinski, Mkhitaryan, Davide Fratesi, Lautaro, Pio Esposito, Thuram, Boni. I think Taremi's out the door as well. We'll see if another attacker comes through. I think another attacker will come through. He fell off big time, Moss. I don't like it. And we need more. Like the lineup that's on the screen right now, we need more than this. This is a shitty lineup to end up trying to challenge for a league. We can't be challenging for a league with a lineup like this. This is a top 4 squad and a top 4 lineup, because when you go through it, Martinez is still growing into his role here. You can't expect him to have a world beater season. So right off the bat there, eliminate the idea of having a stellar season where you go, man, our goalkeeper, incredibile. Not going to happen. So there's room for error in the goalkeeper position straight away. There's room for error at right centre back because Benji Pavard is injured more times than not. And if you're going to stunt Bisek's growth to the point where you're going to start Benji, I'm more inclined to say, just put Bisek, start Bisek at right centre back next season and play the guy into form permanently. Play him into form permanently. If we can get Leone, fantastic. Leone for De Vrij, and with De Vrij in the background would be a dream there. Bastoni for Augusto, no problems whatsoever. Di Marco for Zalewski, no problems whatsoever. Hakan, I want him gone. I want Hakan gone. I don't want him there at all. I can see what people are saying. Maybe we should do this again. That can't work. He's not ready, but I hope he gives him starts as well. But I can see where you're going with this. But anyway, start Bisek. I know, start Bisek. We don't really need to be starting Benji Pavard. Is he really that much better? I mean, if it were really up to me, I know this is a touchy topic, I'd put the guy in the shop window. Out of any of the centre backs in there besides Acerbi as well, put Pavard in the shop window. Go and get 15 million for him. Get 18, get 20 from Saudi Arabia. Go and fund Leone with Benji Pavard. That would be the no-brainer to me, but that's not going to happen because we need a little bit of stature. We can't be sending out someone as experienced as Benji Pavard, who won a World Cup. Oh, he won a World Cup. He won a Champions League as well, didn't he? Yeah, he did. But we've still got a good starting lineup, like Moss is saying, but I don't know, man. Inzaghi could take a Acerbi. We'll see. Do I think Barella will be rotated out? I hope so. We really need Barella to get... We really, really, really need Barella to get some minutes off. But this lineup on screen would be really, really good. Pavard has been hit and miss, but this would still be good. Now the alternative to the Leone situation, and we still don't want this, is the Belgium centre back, because I still do rate him at the end of the day, but it's just not going to be the same. And yeah, I can hear I'd be right up there, but that's not going to happen in Italy, is it? Unless Christian Chivu really has the balls that I want. I'd love to see Augusto in the starting lineup. I could actually make our team look good with the players that we've got right now right bloody now with Augusto in the starting lineup. Oh, man, how I'd love to get Hakan out of this club, honestly. How I'd love to get Hakan out of this club. That's a lineup that you might see more often than not next season. Who else can we play around with? Chivu would never start Augusto over Di Marco, Forza Inter is saying. Who knows? Chivu's not Italian, so we really don't know what he's going to do. We really don't know what he's going to do. But that on screen looks like a very probable lineup that could happen at the moment. But once again, I want to stay as positive as possible in this stream. I want to at least believe that there's a chance that this could happen. Because if so, then we are in a good position. In a good position to move forward here. And we just need players that can play these positions well. We need someone to plug in for this Nico Paz role that I wish could happen, but it's not going to happen. How I wish. How I absolutely wish. Where else would you replace real key positions here with some absolute bombers? But you can only really go one player at a time before it now starts to look. Now it starts to look on purpose. On purpose. There's a lot of players in the world that I think could still do well in a deep role with Hakan. The thing is with Hakan is that he sort of plays the role in a way where he's still very calm and collected on the ball. Still very calm and collected on the ball. And because of that, it's hard to replace his skills. Because there are still players in the world that I'd bring in. And see, that's what I mean. Jono's on the right thing here. Edison isn't a good replacement for Hakan. Whether or not he could grow into that position would be a completely different story. But I don't think that he could. That is way more unbalanced than having Hakan there. Way more unbalanced. But at the same time, who's a player that would absolutely fucking kill it in that position, but from a financial point of view and an age point of view, it doesn't make sense. That right there opens up a whole different element to your midfield. I would even go as far to say that works pretty damn well. That would work pretty damn well. But then it's just like, what are you even doing? You're trying to get Hakan out. But that is where certain other qualities would come into play here. And that is where, in my opinion, that would work. But that would just be silly. But at the same time, from a tactical point of view and a balance point of view, you could get that done. Because he's still world class. Still world class, man. I'm not too sure if this was made official yet. This guy's in the back of my head. Once again, we're just throwing out players' names there now that, probably would never be realistic. But at the same time, the technical skills that this guy has would definitely start to accommodate. And you could definitely start to think of a midfield like that. But once again, not going to happen. We're just looking at profiles now, guys. And to be honest, players like Casemiro are only dusted when they decide that they are dusted. And to that argument, he could decide he's dusted tomorrow because he's Brazilian. At the end of the day, he will decide. I don't think Sommer's staying, man. I think there's a lot of substance to those Galatasaray rumors, to be honest. I really think that there is. But yeah, the Xhaka probably is going to extend now that you've told me that. Now that people have told me that he's being offered certain amounts, because I've always been a fan of the player. I've always thought he's been a little bit out of place, especially at Arsenal. But he would balance our midfield quite well. But he's not the sort of profile that Oak Tree are going for either. And in terms of the sort of players that Oak Tree are going for, well, we can't afford the best ones, but we can't afford the youngest ones. We can't afford the youngest ones either. But, you know, we can always dream. We can always dream to find someone to match the players that we love the most of all time, can't we? That would fix everything. Like I said before, that would fix everything. And now you've got yourself a perfect team. Now you've got a team that would win every single game in the league, provided that people stay fit. You could bum out Denzel Dumfries for Darmian half the time. You could bum out Carlos Augusto for DiMarco and literally any other player in the league in those positions. But with that midfield, you would win every single game, provided that those three start. What a dream. What an absolute dream come true. Look, another player that was on the thumbnail, who is the Martinez goalkeeper. We got him from Genoa, my friend. So unless you follow Serie A, you probably won't know, to be honest. Let's go back to being realistic, although I'm loving these little subtle changes out here. And by going back to being realistic, we probably have to put DiMarco at centre back. By the way, can people rate the sound for me out of 10? Out of 10. 10 being flawless, never buy another microphone ever again. 5 being, yeah, it's bearable. And anything under 5 being, get another one. Give me a bit of feedback as well. I don't know whether it's sounding different as I move away. I am going to get another one soon. Deco. Yeah, 100%. But if we go back to being realistic for a moment, and I'm going to keep putting Fratesi in there as the main plug to start in that more advanced role at the start of the season. And like I said, unfortunately, until we get news that this guy is actually pissing off, then we will be starting with this to go into next season. All right, well, the sound's sounding pretty good. I like the thank you. Yes, thank you so much for mentioning, because I did put Højlund in the option as well. Let's go to the bench. Let's go to the bench. Where is the bench? The bench is here. And we can put him in for Pio Esposito, because he's not going to start. He's not going to start. Now, we are not going to get this guy, but it's good to put him in, because he deserves a bit of an extra shout. I would welcome him back. I would welcome him back. I think he's fine. I think he's absolutely fine to come back in Serie A. But is Manchester United going to accept a loan? Manchester United are one of the biggest basket cases in football at the moment. You cannot get more embarrassing than these guys. You are struggling to get out players like Marcus Rashford, Anthony, Jadon Sancho. You're not convinced of Rasmus Højlund. You're not convinced of Joshua Zirkzee. They're going to be an absolute basket case going into next season. One of the worst teams in club football for sure. For sure. The only way we would take him back is on a loan, a paid loan, not a dried one. We would have to foot his salary, at least half of it. Now, we've fleeced Manchester United before, and we will do it again. Anyone is capable of fleecing Manchester United in a market. Anybody. I think he's deserving of another shot, especially in Serie A. Would he even sit the bench? Imagine going from starting Manchester United to going on the bench for Inter. You know, ideologically, it just doesn't appeal. But sucked in to Manchester United for struggling the way that they are. Even as someone who supports them in England, you sit back and you watch and go, look at this. The consequence of your own behavior. The architects of your own downfall. And now they're signing Cunha and Mumbueno. Cunha, another baller, another Brazilian baller who will check out when mentally the going gets tough. Won't be the first time. Won't be the first time and won't be the last time that shit like this happens at Manchester United. Let's do a quick little recap before I head off. You know, we're not going to have this season defensive midfield wise. It is going to be Hakan. It is going to be Hakan. It is going to be Hakan. I mean, imagine there was a player available, you know, like a Patrick Vieira, like a Makaleli, like a Rijkaard and Edgar Davids and N'Golo Kante, a Dunga, a Busquets, a Casemiro, or Redondo, a Gattuso, a Pirlo, all for different aspects. You know, we're not in the market for these sort of players, which is why we're not in the market for selling Hakan Çalhanoğlu for anything lower than the price that we want. Rovella is not the right choice either. Not for the money that they're asking. And just the idea of Rovella, Barella. And his name is Nicolo as well, isn't it? Nicolo Rovella, Nicolo Barella. It's enough to make you absolutely cringe at the guts. Nico Rovella, Nico Barella. You know, don't even tell me it sounds good from an Italian perspective. It sounds cringeworthy as shit. And I don't want anything to do with it. However, there is a certain amount of chemistry and element that can come with building Leone, Bastoni, Rovella, Barella, Di Marco, Fratesi. You know, Pio Esposito breaks into a starting position there. Holy shit. You get Gigi Donnarumma there. Holy shit. Let's play with that for a second, actually. Let's play with that for 1 second. Oh, Hernan Crespo in that lineup. Get fucked. Oh, shit. Oh, I didn't even mean to do that. Why? Why? Why are you playing with me like that? Why? That is awful. You can't do that. You can't do that. Anyway. Far out, man. Maybe this is what Beppe Marotta is saying. If YouTube's lagging a bit, I'm going to get off. I'm going to get off today anyway. I can tell it's lagging a little bit, and I'll have that fixed for next time. But we're getting off now in a second. Maybe if that's what Beppe Marotta's planning, that looks very, very nice. Because it would only take time. It would only take time. You know, from a communication point of view, it would only take time. And that would be great. Donnarumma, Leone, Bastoni, Rovella, Barella, Fratesi, Di Marco. But still, unbalanced. Unbalanced to a certain extent. We wouldn't be that many signings away from making a full-blown Italian lineup. But at the same time, is that something that we're really interested in doing with the Italian talent that is available? Probably not. You know what? This camera is not half bad, but I will be upgrading that as well. I am going to be making some upgrades. There will be some changes coming, guys. Thank you very much for sticking with me today. It's been a pretty good show, to be honest. I haven't been too upset with it at all. And that's pretty much how we're going to line up next season. And whether or not you guys think it will do the job is subjective to your opinion. I have mine. You have yours. We will continue to come back to them this season. Head to gakits.com. Link is in the description of the last video to get your very high quality, non-authentic Inter gear for next season. Dirt cheap. Why buy one piece of merchandise from Inter for the same price you could buy 5, 4? Anyway, my name is Anthony. Forza Inter. Forza Inter worldwide. Ciao ragazzi. More than a few weeks.